having a little bit more time to kind of go over everything that happened last night. I mean, you saw the title of this video, and basically, what else can I say? Boston got outshot by the Tampa Bay Lightning in every period except the third. Let's break this down real quick. In the first period, 11-9, acceptable, not bad. In the second, 12-7, not as good. Third period, 8-8, and most egregiously, in overtime, the Boston Bruins got outshot in the overtime period, 9-1. You only got one shot in overtime. It just felt like Boston was chasing the puck for the entire duration of this hockey game. Even when they had the lead, most of this game was played in the Boston zone. So, with that being said, let's take a quick review and recap of all the goals of this game, and then we'll go into further detail as to what Boston should do tonight. So we start things off in the first period. It's Yaroslav Halak and Andrei Vasilevsky, your goaltenders, as you would expect. But for tonight, for Game 3, I don't know. I don't even know what to expect just yet. But it's a broken stick for Zach Bogosian. It leads to a 2-on-1 with Nick Ritchie and Anders Bjork. Ritchie over to Bjork. Bjork misses the net, but it takes a wacky bounce back to the front of the net, and it's a whole big scrum. Coyle's in there. Ritchie's in there. They're whacking away and whacking, and the puck ends up in the back of the net. Referee on the ice behind the net calls it a good goal. I don't know if there was a review of it, but the call on the ice stands. We have ourselves a 1-0 lead. The credit goes to Nick Ritchie. A little bit later on, and it's a deflected shot of Braden Colburn by Barclay Goodrow, but the Boston Bruins and coach Bruce Cassidy decide to challenge it, and upon further review, you see as the puck goes in, Braden Point, what are you doing? As you are just gliding out of the Boston offensive zone, but Goodrow enters before Point exits. That is offsides. That means no goal, according to the officials. So it remains a 1-goal game, but a little bit later on, it is a pass from Barclay Goodrow to Zach Bogosian. Bogosian just goes right through neutral ice. He goes right through Carlo, right through Krug, passes it over to Blake Coleman, who beats Anders Bjork and dives and puts it past Yaroslav Halak. We go to the room and a tie game, 1-1. We go to the second period, not much going on except Boston getting outshot and playing a lot in their own zone, but Boston will get a power play as it's Andre Palat with a high stick on Connor Clifton, and the power play looks really, really good in this series. Is Brad Marchand on the low post. He gives it up to the wall to David Krejci. They do the low to high to Torrey Krug. Krug goes right around the other way to David Pastrnak. Pastrnak gets Vasilevsky to think shot the whole way, as you should. But he finds Brad Marchand on the back door, puts it in, was going for the stick, but he puts it in the skates. Great play by Brad Marchand here to V his skates and not make a distinct kicking motion. It's a power play goal for Brad Marchand. We got a 2-1 lead for the Bruins. But a little bit later on, and it's Braden Point with a spin move on Charlie Coyle. He finds Kevin Shattenkirk, takes the shot, and Nikita Kucherov outpositions and outmuscles Big Nick Ritchie in front of the net, gets a tip on it, and scores. Makes it 2-2. Again, Boston getting outplayed and just getting pushed around in front of the net on stuff like that. We go to the third period, still tied. And in the third period, this is by far one of the worst plays I've seen. The bad defense, bad goaltending. I'm sorry, Yaroslav Halak, this was just an awful goal against for him. So, Connor Clifton takes the puck, he takes the shot, it goes wide. And it ends up on the stick of Zdeno Chara, who keeps the puck in. But, as he's keeping the puck in, it's a flyby by Blake Coleman. who sees Chara pinching in, and I would do the same. Just see you later, goodbye. And the puck ends up on the stick of Victor Hedman. Clifton can't catch up to him. Chara's flat-footed, didn't even see that Blake Coleman went by him. Catches everybody napping, and Blake Coleman gets the puck on a breakaway, and sometimes you need your goaltender to bail you out. Sometimes your goaltender needs to make a big save, and this is where Yaroslav Halak needed to make a save. Because this shot, it looks like it barely trickles through Yaroslav Halak, as Yaroslav Halak had the puck, had the positioning. He was down in the butterfly. He had the 5-hole pretty well covered up from what it looks like, but it just sneaks through, and you gotta hold on to that one. 3-2 lead for the Tampa Bay Lightning. But with 3 minutes and 58 seconds left in the game, Boston gives you hope, as this was an overall great possession. The top line for Boston played unbelievably well for a majority of this game. A lot of this game trickled down to Krug, Carlo, Chara. The third line didn't really look particularly well outside of that one goal. The fourth line got abused big time in this one. And it could have just been a matchup thing with Tampa getting last change, so they were able to put the top line against the fourth line. But either way, great possession here from Boston, as a couple of different keep-ins. Carlo kept it in. Great play by David Pastrnak to strip Johnson. He finds it over to Sean Kuraly. Kuraly finds, again, Brad Marchand on the backdoor, beats Andrei Vasilevsky, his second of the game, makes it a 3-3 game, and we're going to overtime. And in the overtime, this is where it's bad, because it's Brendan Carlo, Torrey Krug, and the entire fourth line, and they can't get the puck out of the zone to save their life. And it's a shot from Andre Palat, hits the tip of the glove of Yaroslav Halak. Again, I don't know, maybe Yaroslav Halak was trying to glove it and hold on to it, get a change, probably. Patrick Maroon just eats Brendan Carlo alive on this play, beats him to the puck, goes behind the net on the wraparound, and Joakim Nordstrom, Sean Kuraly, neither one of them pick up Andre Palat, as Torrey Krug is dealing with Yanni Gourde in front of the net. Palat picks up the rebound, puts it in, game over, 4-3 win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, I said this series was going to go 7. This series proved it, but flat out, Tampa Bay playing with a lot more desperation, a lot more intensity. They ate your third line, they ate your fourth line alive tonight. They beat up on the Krug and Carlo pairing, who played more than Charlie McAvoy in this game. I don't know if that was due to the back-to-back, but Charlie McAvoy, he's a young kid. He'll be fine. Yeah, just a rough one overall. Boston, though, hung in there. I'll give them credit for that. They hung in there. They kept the game close, and even tied it up towards the very late minutes, gave you hope. But man, couldn't get out of their own zone in the overtime period. So, big questions tonight is, who do you put in net? I mean, it's a 1-1 series, game number 3 on a back-to-back. Do you go back to Yaroslav Halak? I mean, same question for the Tampa Bay Lightning. As I've said in last episode, Andrei Vasilevsky has yet to not see the ice. So do they go back to him? Do you go back to Halak? Do you trust Dan Vladar at all to be put in a Game 3 playoff situation against one of the best teams in the league, in the Tampa Bay Lightning? I don't think that's a good idea. I think you have no choice but to play Yaroslav Halak until the wheels fall off. I have very little faith in a very inexperienced at the NHL level Dan Vladar. But that is up to Bruce Cassidy. That is his decision to make, and we'll see what decision he makes and what changes can be made, if there's any, to the lineup, as well as how he handles having last change and able to dictate the matchups as best as possible. We'll see if that's the case on the next Bruins Recap Show.